Hey guys, welcome to another Trade Genius podcast. Philip here with Bob Kudla. Google might be in huge trouble, and we're going to talk about that in this podcast episode, so let's dive in.
Trade Genius.
Hey, so Phil, this is really interesting, and I know you have some thoughts on this too. One thing that I always said is that, companies like Google and Facebook and Twitter are really, they're basically marketing advertising agencies with different unique twists to them to get people hooked into watching them. And when I look at Google, the reason why Google has done so well for so long is they had the search engine, which is just dominates everybody.
Right.
And even though people are very, very dissatisfied with it in a lot of ways, it's just too easy to use. And we've been watching here with basically growing excitement, but also a little bit of dread because everything's now just there's a second generation of these chatbots that are and not just chatbots, machine learning and AI coming up that are really gonna. I think that's gonna be like the dominant thing over the next 2 years. Well, Google thought they probably had enough runway to get their next iteration of their chatbot or search bot out the door, but it looks like they're going to get their heads handed to them by, I guess, a group of engineers that used to actually even work at Google are going to beat them to the punch here. And I think now they're freaking out because, and I'll let you take the next part because you had some interesting comments when we were talking pre-show about why this chatbots are different and better. So maybe I'll throw it your way, but the bottom line is that Google loses their dominance here, they lose their moat, and then they lose the premium they could charge on their advertising, and they're dead meat.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, that's the reason why Google rose to stardom was because of the way they returned search results and the page rankings and things like that. I played with the Chat GPT, and I think that they're going to revolutionize the way that we search. So right now, if you're looking for something, you're going to type in something rudimentary, right? And you're going to get these results of websites, right? But you'll be able to search kind of like how you would like ask like Siri for something, right? You're going to talk in a natural language, or you're going to type in a natural language. So you can be very specific on something. I want a shelf that's white, 12 inches deep, ready to go out of the box, and I want it for less than $30. You can literally type that in, and it'll eventually spit back URLs that you can just click on, right? You might not get that right now because you have to kind of go through, then you get directed to a site, and you have to do some more whittling down. It's going to be way more powerful as a search engine, and that's why there's this, kind of like this alert on Google's end because now they know that the gig is up on this current infrastructure of searching, and their moat that they've been hiding behind so well and making a lot of money off of is going to be drained, I think, here. And now, make no mistake, Google is capable of doing this too. However, I think this levels the playing field, and there could be increased competition when it comes to, right now Google AdSense is a huge moneymaker for them. But, other services that have an AI search engine could start advertising as well. And so I think the dominance and what's, given them such a huge valuation over the last 10 years, I think the gig is up on that. So we'll have to see how it plays out. But I think that's going to be, and I know you prepped up a chart that we can look at too, but I think that's going to be a tough thing for the price. And the other thing I'll throw back to you is the matter of trust too on these. It's like, how do we trust these systems? I know, I think you sent this article over about the New York Times.
Yeah, it's interesting. So immediately, since New York Times is worried about misinformation from these new chatbots, means that they probably will trust them. But I think what's going to happen here is that you're going to be able to get multiple. I would be surprised if there's like a chatbot of chatbots that will give you multi-answers depending on what the chatbots say, and to confirm that you're getting when you like in the intelligence business, right? You just don't take one source, right? When we trade, you just don't look at one indicator. You're looking for confirmation. So I would think that as these things mature, we'll get confirmation. And I laugh about the misinformation now because what is Google giving me, right? They're giving me what the Google authorities determine what I should see. And I think what's going to be fascinating is when these other chatbots start bringing up websites that are probably second tier, but these are the people in which I want to do business with versus the people that paid Google the most, to be in front. So I think it's going to be just like in the very beginning, Phil, when we used to do websites, used to do, the people that used to do all the planning around how to get your search, results higher. I think that's going to be an opportunity, and it's going to become a thing again, where I think people are going to make money being able to work with these new chatbots. And yeah, not to get too far afield, I'll jump onto Google here, but there's some really cool things that are going to come from all this stuff too. You're going to have machine learning, and that, if I wanted to right now, I could say, Phil, let's talk about Google and chatbot problems, and I could send it to a machine learning, and they'll literally print out a narrative for me to talk to you about today.
Right.
So it's getting to be that cool with some of the stuff out there. But since we're in a trading blog here and a podcast, I want to talk about what it means for Google. Maybe we can throw that chart up.
Yeah, and another thing I was thinking of too, Bob, real quick before we jump on that, was that, the name is Open AI, right? So I was thinking if it stays decentralized, like there's this decentralized AI, that to me is intriguing, because then you don't have this one central point of censorship, right? So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Similar to how Bitcoin is, right? It's just a decentralized network. Everybody votes on the version of code to run. I find that very intriguing, and I think that would do a lot to combat censorship issues. Anyway, my 2 cents on that. But let's switch over to the chart here. So take it away.
Yeah, so I mean, if you look at Google here, it started falling. Looks like in September.
Right.
And it had a dump here, and then did that dead cat bounce up into December. Now we're rolling over again, and this chart should look familiar to you guys, because Phil and I brought up these fib lines on Google before, and went ahead and it broke one of the levels that we thought, and now it came back down. It's testing that fib level again on weakness. And I think the next stop for this is around 73. I know it's 72 and change for the next fib level down, but look at this channel on it, Phil. I mean, This thing is like behaving beautifully.
Yep.
And so if you're looking for an opportunity on any kind of overbought situation here on a lower time frame with Google, I think this is going to be another opportunity to, if not least, sell credit spread, call spreads, but actually outright buy and put. And to go back to your earlier statement before we went to these charts, Phil, is that I think we're really seeing. Obviously you and I are, I would say, we're libertarian in the sense that I want to have choice. I don't want somebody to centralize tell me. So, and you can see it here with the FANGs. I think the FANGs were peak centralization, and it's gone on farther than we think. And the pandemic might have been a blessing in disguise, in the sense that people are so sick and tired of authorities and what they've gotten wrong, that maybe with these FANGs now are going to blow up too. Because look at Facebook with Meta has blown up, right? Amazon is struggling mightily, right? Apple is in big trouble right now too, because of their centralization trying to do with their app store, right? Look what Tesla, look what Elon Musk did to them. You got Microsoft. I think it's weird. I think Microsoft's probably the safest player out there of the FANGs. You got Google now in big trouble. Okay, Netflix, garbage content. And all that stuff, I think, those were the political tech stocks now. And I think we're going post-political tech stocks. And now you've seen the rise of chatbot. Bitcoin's not going anywhere. I think you're going to see more and more decentralization, because you can't even trust centralized anything anymore. Look at the utilities. Look at the TVA. So I know I'm ranting here a little bit, but this is where you make a lot of money, guys. If you can perceive a shift that's macro and you get in front of it, you're going to make a lot of money. And I don't know about you guys, I don't know about you, Phil, but I'm sensing a shift away from centralization again, and a shift away from trust in central authorities. And technology is making it hard for them. They have to constantly play catch up. And I think with the growth of this machine learning, with AI, with chatbots, with Bitcoin, with the internet, coming out with, internet, I call this internet 4.0. We just skipped right over 3.0. That I think we're going to have I think we're gonna give the authoritarians a bit of run for their money.
Yeah, I agree. It's exciting to see where this decentralized approach to everything can go. I think it's a much fairer platform. So anyway, all right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Trade Genius podcast. We'll catch you on the next one. Please hit like and subscribe, and smash that alert button so you're notified when we release a new video. Thanks again, guys. Take care.
Trade Genius.